What's up, everyone, and welcome back to King's Court. Today, we're looking into the claims that Tom Homan, President Trump's border czar, may be going after the leaders of the states that are openly hostile towards President Trump's immigration policy. Now, I'm referring to this interview that Homan gave the other day.
The president signed an executive order just this week threatening to defund sanctuary cities for their policies. Why not just arrest the leaders who are harboring and shielding illegal aliens, actually terrorists, from deportation?
Wait to see what's coming.
Okay.
Now, this is similar to the Wisconsin district judge that was arrested by federal agents the other day for allowing that illegal immigrant that was in her court to actually evade arrest by using her chambers to exit through the private exit that they have there at the courthouse for basically judges and courthouse staff. Judge Dugan was arrested for obstructing a federal agency and concealing an individual to prevent arrest. Now, since this video is just about AOC and her shenanigans, let's call them at best, I'm going to focus just on the obstruction of a federal agency charge, which is honestly what I think she's guilty of, if anything, and likely what any sort of charge would be. So before we get into the charge, the elements and all that kind of stuff, let's look at this interview where she gave, I think, to The Guardian or something like that. She said, quote, Tom Homan said he was going to refer me to the DOJ because I'm using my free speech rights in order to advise people of their constitutional protections. To that, I say, come for me. Do I look like I care? Well, my feisty little Latina friend, if I wanted to guess what her thoughts are here, I'd say that she probably misunderstands just what her privilege as a member of the U.S. House of Representatives is. You see, members of Congress enjoy an absolute privilege from arrest, lawsuit, criminal prosecution, anything like that, for what they say on the floor of their respective house. This is enshrined in Article 1, Section 6, Clause 1 of the U.S. Constitution. And it reads, quote, they shall in all case, except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses and in going to and returning from the same for any speech or debate in either house. So what that means is AOC can get up there in the House of Representatives and say whatever she wants. She can get up there, and she does. You know, we've seen her, we've seen Jasmine Crockett, we've seen all these reps get up there and say stuff just to become the next leader of that party. And so basically what it means is that she can get up there and she can declare a, nation state A, an enemy of the United States. She can say, their people are doing this. This is ethno-cleansing. This is evil. This is bad. This is terrible. This is anti-American. This is what America really is. And nothing can happen to her. As long as she does not sit there and say, we should do this, and this being treason. I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want, some crazy YouTube person to get after me. I just probably smart on my end. But she seems to think that this protection that she enjoys so much by being a member of the House of Representatives is going to protect her from her, what's a nice way of describing them? Wine guzzling Instagram rants, where she gets on there. What was that one where she got on there and she was trying to make this IKEA furniture or something? And when she talks about how crazy Republicans are, or who people that voted for Trump are so evil. Well, I hate to tell you, lady, but that's not the way it works. So let's look at what charge she could possibly be facing. So like I told the story about the Wisconsin judge earlier. So that's the charge that I think she's possibly facing. The obstructing a federal agency is what I think she's going to face. So let's look at that charge, okay? So that charge comes out of 18 U.S. Code, Section 1505. This is going to be very technical. I'm going to try to make this as little as technical as possible. Okay, so there's two things when it comes to this section. The first regards basically antitrust cases. The second is where you get obstructing a federal agency, basically. So I'm going to read this real quickly. It's very boring, and I apologize for this. Whoever corruptly or by threats or force or by any threatening letter or communication influences, obstructs, or impedes or endeavors to influence, obstruct, or impede the due and proper administration of the law under which any pending proceeding is being had before any department or agency of the United States, or the due and proper exercise of the power of inquiry under which any inquiry or investigation is being had by either House or any committee or any House or any joint committee of the Congress, shall be fined under this title, imprisoned not more than 5 years, or if the offense involves international and domestic terrorism as defined in Section 2331, imprisoned not more than 8 years, or both. Okay, let's break this down. And I apologize. There's gonna be a lot of editing here because I think there's probably gonna be a lot of but-ums. So buckle up, guys. All right, so let's look at this. Whoever corruptly or by any threatening letter or communication influences, obstructs, or impedes or endeavors to influence, obstruct, or impede the due and proper administration of the law. Okay. AOC, we know that AOC has been holding these teleconference things to basically teach illegal immigrants how to evade ICE. That is corruptly obstructing or impeding a federal agency. ICE is duly sworn to locate, arrest, detain, and deport illegal immigrants. Immigration Customs Enforcement. That is their sole charge. Well, and customs shit. But their largest charge is to remove illegal immigrants from the United States, especially now after Donald Trump's executive orders on January 20th. She has spent the last 4.5 months doing whatever she can to prevent ICE from locating illegal immigrants in the United States. That is obstructing a federal agency. She is guilty of that. Now, the question is, does her standing as a United States representative provide her any protection? If she had held these Instagram videos on the floor of the House, very possibly. If she had sent out a tweet that said, if you are an illegal immigrant in the United States, watch C-SPAN on Tuesday, May 3rd. Today's actually May 3rd, so obviously not Tuesday. But watch C-SPAN on February 22nd at 3 p.m. I will be on the floor of the House to give you advice. That possibly could protect her. She would have the parliamentary privilege, the protection that she has as a member of the House from what she says on the floor of the House. She's not instigating treason. As much as we would like to say that is treason, it's not. So she'd probably be protected. But that's not what she's done. She has gone door to door. She has campaigned. She has gone to these events. She has stepped outside the protections of the United States House of Representatives and told people how to avoid arrest by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That is obstructing a federal agency. And I think that I don't think she's going to end up in prison. That no one is putting a U.S. rep in prison. I do think she ends up getting censured by the House, and I do think she ends up getting fined. Now, the question is, does a appellate judge overturn that? Probably, because they're all fucking corrupt, it looks like. But this is what I think happens. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope the editing isn't terrible. And I hope y'all come back next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below what you think. I know this is a very hot topic. Try to be somewhat respectful if you can. But I can't wait to read the comments. Can't wait to reply. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Peace out.